Welcome to another stage analysis video. I'm going to do a little bit of a special feature tonight instead of doing the US watchlist stocks tonight. So we did cover that quite a lot in the weekend video. I thought it'd be useful to have a look at what's been going on in the crypto coins recently, as we haven't done anything on the crypto coins for a while. Obviously, as you can see from Bitcoin, for example, here we've been in stage 4 for quite a while now, and the majority of the year. So actually started to see a change of behavior in the crypto coins recently. Let me just get rid of this on the settings. And we started to see a number of the crypto coins starting to move into stage 1 type behavior. So I just wanted to, and even a few stage 2 breakouts. So I thought it would be useful to go through the major crypto coins. I've created a quick watch list here of those by market cap, and about the top 30 or so by market cap, and a few of the others that have had strong moves over the last month or so. So beginning, this has got we've got the SATA indicator on at the moment with this, so showing that this can be used on stocks or crypto coins, whatever. It doesn't really matter what instrument you use. Basically, it works nonetheless. So basically it's looking, go to the data, where's the data feed here, the data window here, it shows the breakdown of the different lines here. So the top line is your breakouts and breakdowns. Then you've got 4 lines that do different things with the price and moving averages, 10-week moving average rising, 30-week moving average rising, etc. Mansfield relative strength, momentum, 2 different momentum lines, then volume, and then overhead resistance. So at the bottom there, so you can see obviously Bitcoin here is red, so we've still got overhead resistance in this one. You can see the volume and one of the momentum bars has turned to green at the moment, as we've started to get a little bit of a short-term change of behavior here as it starts to develop a base structure, as you can see. So on here you can see we've been still potentially only in stage 4B minus on Bitcoin itself, not yet stage 1 behavior, but we've got a SATA score of 4 at the moment, so we're starting to see a small change of behavior. If I drop down to a daily chart on this, I'll flick through to, it's actually easier to see in stock charts on the daily chart with the counter channels on, so you can see the same base structure here on the 8-month daily chart that's been developing. You can see we've actually still building out, starting to get moved back above again. So we're in the kind of 4B minus, as I said. Potentially we could be developing a stage 1 base here. We've got 4 to 5 month base structure now. The 200-day moving average has moved into the structure itself, so it's getting much closer to potential stage 2 territory. To get back to stage 2, be looking for a move up and out in this kind of range up here, the 27 to 30 kind of thousand area. So, but at the moment, if we do a bit of stage analysis on this, just from the base structure, a bit of Wyckoff first, you've got your selling climax, automatic rally, secondary tests, and started to build out an early base structure, started to break above the initial structure. So we did have a small structure through here, which then started to pop above, and then a bit of an upthrust and came back in again, and then broadened out the structure. So now got this actually tighter action at the end of the range again. So it's broken out of multiple near-term highs here and it's pulled back into it today, but just holding above this 21-day moving average. So on a near-term basis, starting to show a little bit of relative strength again. You can see versus the S&P 500, it's been pretty much flat for a while now, underperforming well below the zero line, but the zero line is gradually drifting down below it. So it's basically been moving in line with the S&P 500 for a while, but obviously it was wildly underperforming it at this point through here in April, May, June time. So still got a ways to go to get back there. Get back to the weekly chart, and I'll change to out the SATA chart here. You can see just holding above that 10-week moving average. You can see we've still got this declining 30-week, and as I said, we've still got the range in the moving up towards the zero line there. So still would only consider it stage 4B minus at the moment, with potential to turn into stage 1 here. If we look at Ethereum, next up on the list, you can see it's in a much better position. Still a ways to go compared to the S&P 500. They're still underperforming under the zero line. So, but you can see in terms of it's pulled up into its 30-week moving average here. You can see we've got a little bit of a change of behavior going on. So again, if I whack the SATA indicator back on, it gives you the scores and the colors, and so you can start to see that change of behavior. We did have an earlier move up here where it had a much more significant move than Bitcoin, actually rallied quite strongly. The SATA score got up to a 5 in this area up here before starting to roll back down again, but you can see it's improved again recently, got up to a 5 again, has now dropped off to a 3, so starting to chop around. We've got a potential base structure developing here, so we've got one of these V bottom into a higher base, so potential stage 1 base developing on this. Again, if I go through to the daily chart here, we can stock charts, see this a bit more clearly. So just hovering right underneath the 200-day, the moving average at the moment, so in position to potentially start to move up and out into stage 2 type behavior potentially. So you can see the structure that's been developing, got a little bit of rounding out here, maybe an inverse head and shoulders, but obviously I don't like that so much. But at the moment, a clear move through the 2000 level at the moment would potentially take this up and out into stage 2, but it could potentially be moving into stage 2 earlier as it's relative to that 200-day moving average. We start to get a pop up through here, start to clear some near-term levels here. You can see the old resistance through here that exists from this base back in May, June time, then potentially could start to move into stage 2 type territory in the 1800 to 2000 area. But to obviously clearly be in stage 2, you'd need to be popping above that convincingly. So again, if we go back to that weekly chart, as you can see, it'd be a move up and out through this area here, get a strong move up, get some volume. We'd want to see some strong volume coming in. If it does, then that would potentially start moving this up and out into potential stage 2, then that 30-week moving average starting to turn up. But as you can see, the 10-week moving average is still well below the 30-week moving average at the moment, so this is still potentially quite early. But again, if we go back to that daily chart, the fact that 200-day moving average, it's moved in so closely, even though the short-term moving averages here, we've got a 21-day and 50-day moving averages still below that 200-day moving average. They need to get back in the right order. But the fact that we're getting so close to here, and then potentially if we do get a strong move up and out, we could then start to build some kind of backup range, secondary area above the top of this range if we do get that follow through the 200-day moving average. Okay, let's move to the next. Let's have a look at some of the altcoins as well now. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are your two major coins, and I kind of consider them similarly to, if you think about it in terms of gold and silver. So Bitcoin is gold and Ethereum is silver, and then all of the altcoins are a leveraged way to play obviously the crypto coin market. Similarly, that the gold and silver miners are a leveraged way to play the moves in physical gold and silver. So that's kind of the way I think about it. You could think about it in another way as well. You could consider Bitcoin is a bit like the major index of the crypto coin, so the S&P 500, for example, whereas Ethereum is more like the Nasdaq 100, and then all of the coins are the individual stocks. It's an analogy. It just doesn't really matter how you think about it. But I think the gold and silver analogy works best for me in terms of how I tend to think about the crypto coins. Bitcoin and Ethereum are like the core, and everything else is just the mining stocks as such. They're like, they can come and go and blow up. But the two majors are obviously where the main focus is and what we compare against. So obviously, relative strength wise, you're comparing universally against the S&P 500, whether it's gold, whether it's silver, whether it's crypto coins, whatever. We're always comparing against the S&P 500 to give us a universal measure of relative strength. As obviously we want to be focusing on the strongest point areas in the market at once. So at the moment, something like the Nifty 50, which I highlighted today on the Twitter feed, is actually attempting to move into a new stage 2. So that is outperforming versus the S&P 500, whereas something like the crypto coins here, if you get the core chart up here, you can see we've been underperforming. So moved below the zero line, back all the way back here, like October, November time. November time 2021 started to break down, and we've been below the zero line that entire time. So it's been underperforming. So basically all through this time, you haven't wanted to be in crypto coins because they're underperforming the S&P 500. So once this starts to outperform again, like we saw back through the 2020 moves, start to get those big moves through the May through to June, July time, as it started to move and develop into stage one type behavior again through here. And then we got that stage two breakout. So in late July 2020, before obviously the major secondary move later in the year in October, November time, before the big thrust that took it into the more momentum part of the stage two advance. But this is the kind of area that you want to be getting into when it's earlier in stage one, when it's only just the relative strength is starting to outperform, and then you're starting to move into potential stage two. So let's have a look at some of the crypto coins, the altcoins, as there are a few that have actually started to move into stage two. There's not many. There's maybe a couple. Matic and Quant, I believe, both have started to move, and maybe Binance Coin is also testing that stage two level. And there might be one more as well that I'm thinking off the top of my head, begins with a C, but I'll find that in a minute. But if we flick through to here, so Binance